Hello P5 students! Welcome back to our science class with Ms. Ida. We are now on Unit 1, Lesson B, What is Evaporation? Are you ready to learn this lesson, children? Let's get our science pupils book and open it on pages 8 to 17 while watching this video. So what are you waiting for? Let's get started! Our learning objectives are the following. Recognize that evaporation is the process of a liquid changing into a gas. Recognize that a solid is obtained when a liquid evaporates from a solution. To get started, look at the picture of the puddle of water on your pupils book, page 8. Aisha saw the puddle of water on her way to school in the morning. When she returned in the afternoon, she noticed that the puddle had disappeared. What happened? Let's try to find out. Why had the puddle of water disappeared by the afternoon? The water in the puddle had gained heat from the surroundings and changed into water vapor. Water vapor is water in the gaseous state. It is colorless. We cannot see it, although it is in the air. The change of a liquid into a gas is called evaporation. Unlike boiling, which takes place at the boiling point, evaporation can take place at any temperature. There are many examples of evaporation in our everyday lives. Wet clothes dry by evaporation. The water in the clothes gains heat from the surroundings and changes into water vapor. We perspire when we are hot. When the water in our perspiration gains heat from our skin and the surroundings, it evaporates. The loss of heat from our skin helps cool our body down. Anchovies, a kind of fish, are left out in the sun to dry. The water in the anchovies gains heat from the surroundings and changes into water vapor. Dried anchovies can be stored for a long time without spoiling. Perfume evaporates quickly when it is spread on our skin. This allows the scent to reach our nose quickly. Going further, this table shows some differences between evaporation and boiling. In evaporation, it takes place at any temperature, while in boiling, it takes place at the boiling point. It takes place at the surface of the liquid in evaporation, while it takes place throughout the liquid in boiling. No bubbles are formed in evaporation, while in boiling, bubbles are formed throughout the liquid. The temperature of the remaining liquid drops during evaporation, while in boiling, the temperature of the remaining liquid remains the same during boiling. Can you see their differences, children? What affects the rate of evaporation? How quickly evaporation takes place is known as the rate of evaporation. Let us find out what affects the rate of evaporation by studying each pair of pictures in your pupils book, pages 12 to 13. Are you ready? Do wet clothes dry more quickly on a hot day? What do you think, children? Do wet clothes dry more quickly on a cool day? Look at the picture. Do wet clothes dry more quickly on a windy day? Can you see the difference? Do wet clothes dry more quickly on a day with still air? Or do wet clothes dry more quickly when they are spread out? One last picture. Do wet clothes dry more quickly when they are folded? So I'll give you time, children, to compare, and let's discuss tomorrow. Let's discuss your answers, your insights about what affects evaporation. So each picture shows a variable that is changed to affect the rate of evaporation. A variable is a condition or a factor in an experiment. It can be changed or kept the same. The variable that is changed is the one being investigated. The other variables are kept the same to make sure that a fair test has been carried out. Can you tell which variable is changed in its picture? So, we will be discussing more on this during our Zoom meeting tomorrow. What happens when a liquid evaporates from a solution? The picture shows piles of white solids. Do you know what these white solids are? The white solids are salt from seawater. Most of the salt that we add to food comes from seawater. There is a lot of salt water dissolved in seawater. What happens when a liquid evaporates from a solution? When a solid dissolves into a liquid, a solution is formed. A solid that can dissolve in a liquid is soluble. For example, a common salt is soluble in water. When it dissolves in water, a salt solution is formed. Let's try to see the picture. Okay, that's it. A teaspoon of salt is added into a glass of water, and when you mixed it, a salt solution is formed. When a liquid evaporates from a solution, the solid is left behind. In the picture, seawater is left in salt pans to allow the water to evaporate. When all the water has evaporated, salt is left in the pans. The salt pans are large and shallow. Do you know why? We can obtain salt crystals by evaporating the water in salt solution slowly or quickly. And we will be having experiments about these children. So for lesson B, we have learned that the change of a liquid into a gas at any temperature is called evaporation. An example of evaporation taking place is when wet clothes dry. The rate of evaporation depends on the following: temperature of the surroundings, the presence of wind, and the surface area. When a solid dissolves in a liquid, a solution is formed. A soluble solid can be obtained from its solution by evaporating the liquid in the solution. When the liquid has evaporated, the solid is left behind. And that ends lesson B, children. Thanks for watching. Be ready and be on time for our Zoom meeting tomorrow. Be safe, be healthy, and be happy always. Bye-bye and God bless, children.